Is Cindy Cisneros, owner of Creatively LLC, and this is part of the Business Basics series for artpreneurs. And today we're going to be talking about building an email list. Now, building an email list is something that you can do as an artpreneur anywhere in your business process. Really, it's something that you might want to do in the beginning because I really think that an organic build of followers for your email list is going to be the most effective and impactful down the road. But an email list is going to be something you're going to use for marketing, and it's going to be part of your email marketing strategies that we're going to get to a little bit further down our business basics journey. But I'm starting with it because it's something that's fairly easy in terms of tools and getting started with to do in the beginning, and then you can kind of organically let it grow as we go along with some of these other steps. So I'm going to talk about this through the lens of how I did this as a creative artpreneur, and then give you some of the tools that I used as part of my journey. And I'm going to link all of these tools. Now, there's one that I'm going to keep coming back to that I used fairly heavily, and I'm by no means saying that this is the one that you should use, but it's an example of similar tools that are out there that I'm also going to link for you to explore. Everybody's journey and needs are different. So I encourage you to do the research and to spend the time looking through the tools that are right for you, because once you start picking some of your tech, it's harder to switch once you've got a lot of your data and information into them and kind of invested into them. So without further ado, let's talk about how to build an email list, knowing that we're going to get into some of the why and what to do with it as we go along. And I have talked about, if you haven't seen, why I'm doing this Business Basics series as just to solve some of the overwhelm and unnecessary barriers to information on these business basics, it's hard to say, that are out there for entrepreneurs. So that I encountered on my own journey, and I'm trying to solve that by consolidating the knowledge that I found, organizing it into as simple formats as I can, both from what's already out there that I found that's useful, and then from what I found lacking, piecing it together myself and putting it into one simple, free, available place for you. Because this doesn't need to be a barrier for you. It just needs to be a learning curve, like anything new. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to pick a place that we want our list to live and get some initial people in it. So for me, I started with a strong foundation of friends and family, and I really remember sending that first email and thinking, I have no idea what content I'm going to put in here and who I'm going to send it to. So I populated those initial emails with who I knew was already invested and was going to open it. And ultimately, this is who organically we're going to build the list with. Who's invested in you and who's going to open it. So in the beginning, it wasn't people I necessarily thought were really going to come to me for my coaching, for my counseling, maybe to look at my art, but these were people that I knew supported the work that I was doing. So those first, I think I started with a whopping 12 names, somewhere between 6 to 12 names. And those first emails were friends and family, and that's who I put in there first. But these early supporters are going to get the word out and be that solid base that you're going to build upon. And as I continued, I expanded the list by including clients that I was seeing because they were already invested in my service and they were familiar with my work and valued the work that I was doing. And it's kind of that similar idea. And then what I did is I created a dedicated landing page. Now, if this isn't a landing page, isn't something that you're familiar with, pop that into a search engine and look up what is a landing page. But it's basically, if you have your own website, you can live it there. And if you don't, there's plenty of other places that will host it for you. But it's a web page that's going to have something of value. For me, it was something about counseling. It was something that I already had. It was an exercise I already taught my clients how to do with a how-to and a little worksheet that in order to get it, all they had to do was sign up for my email to continue to get valuable information like that. And so that's essentially what a landing page is. And I created that. And I would put that in other places, like it was the first thing that popped up on my website. If you have a website, you can have it on your business cards. You can start putting it in your emails. But this is another place where you start to capture names to point back to your growing email list. So here's some places where you can build landing pages: HubSpot, Squarespace, Zapier, Podia. Now I realize I haven't given you places where you can live your email newsletter, or whether you're going to promote or whatever you're going to use this email list for. We're going to get to it. One of your goals for the audience that you're growing is to be an expert on wherever your creativity is, because what you have to say and what you have to show to your audience is going to be valuable. So one of the things that I did, and one of the things that you may want to do, is to choose a social media place where your audience lives to leverage and to show that expertise. So for me, LinkedIn played a really significant role in that growth. I started to share my expertise in counseling and coaching for artists, and this included kind of lifestyle posts about doing art and creativity as being an important part of your emotional wellness. And we're going to talk more about kind of branding and marketing and this kind of stuff and how it plays a role in that, so don't worry. But being on social, on LinkedIn, I would share my expertise through blog posts, through posts on LinkedIn to showcase my knowledge, but this would link back to my website, to my landing page, or sometimes too, where you keep your audience will have a little subscription page that you can use, or a little subscription script that you can use. And this helped me to drive more traffic to attract people that were interested in joining my email list. And this activity on LinkedIn also led me to invitations to speak at various online summits, webinars, podcasts. And this helped me generate even more organic interest and opportunities to reach even more people. So I keep saying organic. This means I'm not paying people. I'm not paying for lists of emails. These are people that have found me just through life and have clicked on or found or been interested just as part of their life in what I have to offer. And these are the people that are going to be more likely over time to really be interested in what you have to offer and to continue to be interested in what you have to offer. Which brings me to the next goal in building your email list is to continue to have multi-layered incentives and opportunities for your audience. So one of the things that I said is through putting information and posts and opportunities on LinkedIn, I was invited to speak at these online summits. So, and by the way, some tools for being the creative expert: LinkedIn, but it can be whatever social platform that is a good opportunity for you. And also Hey Summit, which is where some of these summits live. You can actually make a profile and list yourself as an expert in wherever your expertise lives to continue to speak and share. People can find you that way. So, but at these summits, my landing page lives on a site called Podia, and I'm going to keep talking about Podia because ultimately I found Podia as a hub, and there's other websites that are a hub where lots of the tech lives all together. But you may not find that you want all of the tech for these things together. For me, my landing page is on Podia, my email list is on Podia, a lot of my courses are on Podia, lots of my things live on Podia. So I'm going to keep talking about Podia when I'm talking about different things that you can use to grow your email list. That's the reason I'm talking about Podia. I'm not saying that Podia is for you, but certainly please look at its features and see if it's something that you want to use. But I'm going to give you other ideas of things that you can cross-reference and see if they may be the way that you want to use your tech and host your audience and do some of these other things. So I used Podia as a way to also offer free content. And the free content, when we talked about landing pages, that's one way. But another way is I would say to the people that listen to my talk at the summits, I want to give you a template, or I want to give you a mini course, or I want to give you, as a way to follow up to the talk that you listened to at my summit, something else. So here it is as a gift after my speech talk, and they would, as part of downloading that free content, also put in their email address, and that email address would grow my audience. And this was an effective way to grow my list. And then each free resource encouraged more participants to subscribe for even more information and interact more with me as part of my online audience. I talked about how on my website, if for people who have been on there for a certain number of seconds, there's a free gift that also kind of brings people back to Podia again to get another downloadable or free gift. I think right now I recycle it every once in a while, but I keep coming back to, I think it's creative journaling, because this seems to be one that does pretty well and people seem to really like, but they join the email list as part of getting that free gift. So this multi-layered approach, combining social networks, online presence, lead captures, helps me to kind of encourage people to engage, stay engaged, re-engage, and it helps you to kind of recycle and build this it's almost like a snowball rolling downhill at a robust and engaged email list and online audience. So here's some ideas I talked about Podia as being a place for some of these things. Teachable is a similar place where you can have online content to help you build an email list. Thinkific is another. Graphy is another. So once you start to have a growing online audience, you want to nurture your online audience. They have engaged with you as a hope to get quality information and content. So you want to kind of deliver on that promise, right? So in order to nurture my growing email list, I use what is called in marketing, and again, we're going to circle back to more about what this is and how to use it, a variety of drip campaigns, and mine again live on Podia. But this tool allows me to segment my audience using tags. Now, once your list has grown past a certain size, you start to kind of understand this audience has engaged with me through coaching, or this audience has engaged with me through counseling, or this audience has engaged with me through webinars or different ways, and you understand that probably because they've engaged with you through various channels, they may be seeking this type of content from you, or they may be seeking this type of content from you. And so there's ways and there's software to help you kind of organize your audience based on probably how they found you and what information they're seeking from you. And then you can continue to set up automatic emails that will feed them the information and the content that they're wanting over a certain amount of time. Whether that's more downloads, whether that's videos, whether that's more emails, but this helps your audience feel like you're delivering on what they initially engaged with you for, which is quality information and content. So this is where we talk about where do we want these emails that we're capturing to live. And I'll tell you, do as I say, not as I do, because I said in the beginning, do some research and find a place for these emails to live that you really like so you don't have to move them. Fortunately, unfortunately, I bounced my email list all around here, there, and everywhere till I finally settled on somewhere that for now I'm happy. So I can tell you some of the footprints that I've been through, but there are many, many newsletter and email hosting services out there. And many of them, if not most, have free levels, and then they have you can increase to paid subscriptions. So again, the one that I'm currently using, because it just has lots of different features that I use, is Podia. But I've also tried MailChimp. I've also tried Constant Contact. I've also tried Brevo. That was previously Sendinblue. Take a look and look around based on what you want to accomplish with your mailing lists and what features they have available. Some of them have everything in the kitchen sink and you may not need that. Some of them really don't have a lot of features and you may need more. Some of them are really focusing on newsletters. Some of them are really focusing on sales. Take a look and kind of think about what you're trying to accomplish and give yourself pros and cons and do their free trials and see what makes sense for you. We've talked a lot about quality content, and it's important that as your subscribers join your email list that we're giving them quality content, because nobody wants new emails, really. We all have so many. So if somebody's subscribed to your email list, we, again, want to deliver on what they've signed up for, and we don't want people to unsubscribe. That's really just kind of the opposite of the chef's kiss. Like, oh man, people have unsubscribed. We never want to put too much emotional investment in the various things that happen with our business, because we've got many things that our business does, right? But we're paying attention to the stats and the outcomes. And again, these are things that we'll talk about as we go through some of these other business basics, looking at the analytics. However, we want to give our subscribers the content that they're asking us for or hoping for. So when we talked about tagging, we talked about setting up various drip campaigns and understanding what it is, how our new subscribers came to us and what it is they may be looking for. And so as your email lists grow, I encourage you to pay attention to what it is that you're offering the world. And this is going to start from your business plan, which is another thing that we're going to talk about and think about, and what it is that your subscribers are coming to you for, and paying attention to how and why you're engaging to them with emails and really having a plan around that. And this is just planting a seed, because this is going to start with your business plan and drip all the way down to your marketing plan, and then go specifically into what you're trying to accomplish with your email marketing. So for now, just kind of think about it in broad strokes, what that might look like for you. But for me, it gets more complicated with time. It gets more complicated with time. But suffice to say, email marketing, I think, is something that, in terms of return on investment, is a really powerful and important tool, which is one of the reasons why I'm giving it to you from the beginning, to kind of get those legs underneath it, because I think you're going to really, if you're like me, and well, it's something I really enjoy, and I hope that you do too. So in conclusion, engaging and building an email audience is really important to growing your creative business, and it's totally doable. Start with the foundation of supporters that are already on board. They may not be people who are ultimately your target customer, but they are definitely people who are already invested in you. And so that's where we're ultimately going with our organic build strategy of people that we're going to be drawing into our list. And this is how we cultivate a dedicated community around our work. And this is how email marketing, ultimately, we're going to have the opportunity to share our unique voice, keep our audience informed, and offer value that resonates. Remember, your process is a journey. It's okay to learn to adapt as you go. And I hope these insights and tips through these business basics help you along the way. Please feel free to reach out to me directly with the questions that you have and more business basics that you want to see at Cindy@creativelyllc.com.